What's up everyone and welcome to FAQ109. Have you seen this? Did you see my video? I made a video this past week, last Friday, the 27th of September was my birthday, and I went out doing some guitar shopping, and this is the guitar that I shopped. You know, I've always kind of been a Fender fan, and ever since I tried a Fender Elite Stratocaster back when I did a video for one, that particular Stratocaster, I remember it being so good. You know, I've been sort of like searching to get another one, and I tried another Elite in the store, wasn't really that impressed, but I found this, and boy, oh boy, this is a good and nice guitar. I'm gonna make a video of this guitar, obviously, coming soon, I guess. Will it chug? I'm just not sure what is happening right now with this. Last week I threw it onto the floor. Maybe that's what's happening right now. But yeah, great. It's LaMetric. It's good stuff. LaMetric. Just Another Kid's Music. Hi Ola, since you are currently in writing mode, how do you decipher writing material between the haunted and feared? What makes a song riff a feared riff and vice versa? Great question. I don't think there's any real formula to this. You know, when I write something, I just write and whatever happens, happens. Sometimes I go with the intent of writing like a haunted song. And sometimes it will turn into a haunted song like I planned. And sometimes it sounds more like a feared song. And then I just switch the project basically. But I mean, writing wise, there's no difference in me writing a feared song or a haunted song. I mean, I would say it's still metal. They're sort of close. Feared is a little bit more death metal, obviously. So if a riff becomes a little bit more death metal, it's more feared styled and so on. I don't know. I mean, it's at the end of the day, when I hear a riff in a song, I know instantly if it is the haunted song or a feared song. It's really hard to explain why and or how that is possible, but that's just how it is for me. Thank you. 6th project, 6 Nightmares 6. So when does the new Christian rock album come out? Love Will Take You Far, Hug Your Kids, Eve and Purple Burl. He's talking about the latest FAQ where I said people to hug their kids. So now I have to release a Christian album. Okay, a little small disclaimer. I'm not a Satanist, by the way, but since people think I'm a Satanist, I like, you know, to poke a little bit of fun at them. I love when people get offended by shit. It's close to a religious miracle I can get. Costa, hey Ola, how are you? Do an Ola testing shit of a Majesty 2019 from Music Man. I'm watching tons of videos about it, but I want to see you playing the Ola riff on it. A couple of FAQs back, I talked about Music Man guitars and Ernie Ball guitars and John Petrucci guitars. And since then, because a lot of people were pissed off about my answer that I didn't like the one Ernie Ball Music Man I tried, I'm gonna... Oh, sorry. I'm actually looking for a Majesty right now, so I can actually give it a try. I tried one this past week on my birthday, but it was a Sterling Majesty, so that's definitely not the same thing. Even though this Sterling was like $1,400 US or something like that. It was an expensive Sterling. But yeah, I definitely need to try a Majesty, and I will definitely have to make a video out of it. So I'm looking forward to it. Any Swedes out there close to me that has a Majesty? Give me a ring. This is not a ring, by the way. Well, it's sort of like a ring, I guess, but it's also, you know, the Ola and all that bullshit. Rich Damone, love the show, Ola. Long-time viewer, short-type member of the Tube and Discord. I have wanted to purchase one of your guitars for a while now, but with the price point of some of these pieces and not being able to test drive them before the purchase, could you describe the necks on the Solar models you are producing? Is the A2.6 the same neck as the V, and can you compare them with any other necks that are out there? Thank you so much, Richie. Great question. You know, when I started doing my Solar guitars thing and, you know, I started doing different shapes, you know, going into the V shape, for instance, I didn't want the guitar to feel any different from like the A type, for instance. So all the neck profiles so far on all the Solar guitars are supposed to be the exact same. So it's basically like, it's more of a rounded C shape than a Wizard Ibanez neck, but it's still not thick in that sense. And for me, this is the perfect guitar neck. This is perfect for me. And all the Solar guitars, I mean, even if it's a more expensive one, like an A1 series, if you compare it to an A2 series, they're built the exact same way. The neck thickness is supposed to be the same. Although, it's very important to say that there's always going to be the human aspect of things. I mean, not every guitar is going to be exactly like the one other, because it is, after all, a hand-built instrument. And, you know, people sand it, and, you know, they can sand a little bit too much, they can sand a little bit too little, and sometimes that's just how it is. I mean, even though if a guitar has such a super microscopical difference in thickness, you know, a guitar player will feel that. So in that sense, I mean, overall, throughout the line, so if you're holding inexpensive or like the most less expensive Solar, it's going to feel the same as having, you know, the more expensive Solar that has more expensive features and all that. So that's kind of like the point, that you're going to feel familiar when you try any of the Solar guitars. That's the closest I can describe what I wanted to do with it. Did I answer the question now? What was the question? So yeah, even going between a V or a E or a C or a B or a X or a F, type F, the necks are, as of right now, supposed to feel the exact same. Okay, thank you. 666 Alex. This is a member question. Hi Ola, love your content. I've been following you for a long time. My question, is there any video in the last years you are the most proud of, or vice versa, it would have been better, never been published? Thanks for your answer and keep on rolling. This is a lovely, lovely question, because it came from a lovely, lovely member. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's start with videos that should not have been published. I mean, I have a couple of videos of mine where, you know, where people react to one of my opinions, you know, and, you know, that's okay. You know, I have a general opinion about things. People are not going to agree with everything I'm saying, and that's totally cool. But there are some times where basically the viewer gets a perception of what I'm saying in the video, you know, and basically twist and turn my words into something else, and they write it out as a comment. You know, as an example, the video where I have, you know, a clickbaity title that's called Albums Are Dead, where it was a segment from a Tolman clinic of mine where I was talking about album and, you know, the album cycle, and, you know, if you should release an album today if you're a small band with no attraction. You know, there was a lot of negativity towards me in the comment section of that video. Obviously a lot of positive as well, but, you know, there's a lot of people that are like, dude, man, I love the album format and you hate it and blah blah blah. No, I do not hate the album format. I'm saying that for small bands it doesn't make sense to release an album. And things like that. People twist your words into something else, and then they get a based opinion on that, and, you know, I know people are not going to be able to understand what I'm saying. You know, you just have to understand and realize that I'm also a human being. I have errors, and, you know, these FAQs, for instance, they're not scripted or anything like that. I just sit there and talk from the top of my lungs, and, you know, just letting my heart speak. And, you know, sometimes, you know, I don't pick the right words because, you know, English is not my first language, and people take those words and make it into something else. So with that said, I think the video that I made for Albums Are Dead is probably one of the most controversial ones I made. Do I regret putting it up? No. No. I think it's very important that people need to hear shit like this. That goes with all the other videos and opinions as well in my FAQs. I mean, I don't regret anything I've said. You know, I can be wrong. That's not a problem. I can be wrong about things. Sure, and I can be corrected. Since I have a voice in the social media, you know, people take it very seriously, even though I don't really feel that serious. But there's absolutely no video that I regret putting up. If there was a video I would have regretted putting up, I would basically have deleted it already. But there's not a single video that I have deleted in that sense. So there you go. If there's a video that I'm especially proud about, I think that I'm proud, at least now, the most proud about me being able to go to, you know, Dimebag Estate and check out his guitars. And it still haven't sunk in. I was just being, you know, teenage Ola fanboy at that time, and, you know, for me that was such a very special moment to be able to go there and just see his guitars in person and even touch the guitars in person, which is like, to be able to do that trip, that's something that I'm extremely proud about, and make that video. And you know, I always wanted to make that video a fan video for the fans of Dimebag, you know, do fans out there a favor by showing the insides of Dime's lair. And I'm just really proud about that video. That's one of my best videos, I think, because obviously it means so much to me. Thank you so much. That's a really good question, by the way. And what? Jaden Spera, you should do your favorite Dream Theater riff for the riff of the day. All right, let's do this. Riff of the day. I should do this on my new guitar. I have a good one, Erotomania. You know, this riff, I think it's really cool because it's super ugly. It's like one of the ugliest riffs you'll ever hear, but it's still so cool, and I still love this song to death. But Erotomania, the intro riff goes like this. It's like this chromatic scale riff. But the rhythm is so cool. I mean... Oh! Oh! I don't remember that. Erotomania by Dreamfear. Pretty cool riff. Also, that song has a crazy amount of really good lead solos in it, so check it out if you haven't. What's the one? Something like that. Amazing John Petrucci lead work in that one. Snashnish Banadje. Hey, Ola, Snashnish. I didn't actually read that. Snehash-ish Banadje. Hey, Ola, can you recommend top 5 things which are must if we are setting up a bedroom studio? Thanks and cheers. Okay, great question. Obviously, you need a computer, I think, or if you have an old portable, track or something like that, but people don't use that anymore. Basically, everyone has a computer of some sort now. You have a computer, you have an audio interface, pretty important, but you can have a really small interface, which basically just has, a microphone input or like an instrument input. There are a lot of non-expensive options out there. And other than that, if you're not going the speaker route, just get a really good set of headphones. Mine are in the drawer back there, but I use Beyerdynamic DT880, and I really like those. A pair of really good headphones can get you very, very far. And I think it's a very small but important investment to get a really good pair of headphones. I think it's very important that you go and try out headphones, by the way, so you find someone that you enjoy listening to your favorite music in, and then just buy them. Other than that, I don't really think you need that much more. You need a desk, probably. I mean, there's so much you can do with just an audio interface and a computer, really, and a pair of headphones. Cable, guitar. That's pretty important as well. So, how's it going, you little love metric? You good there? You okay? You okay there? Yeah. Dean Harkness, what about Hetfield going back to rehab? Okay, so I wanted to tie this together with another question that I got from Michael Bars here, which was, Coffee, hi Ola, what is your view on or experience with drug addiction in the music scene? So, as many of you probably heard and seen online, Metallica had to cancel some tours because it seems that James Hetfield is getting into rehab. He's been struggling with an alcohol addiction on and off during the years, and even though it seemed like he has been, good for a while and sober for a while, he's now back in rehab. Now, I'm definitely not the right guy to ask about this because, I've never had an addiction other than, coffee and chocolate. But, a lot of artists out there, they start their careers when they're pretty young, and they keep on the music lifestyle for their whole life, basically. I mean, drinking or doing drugs on tour is definitely something that occurs a lot in the scene. And for some, drinking or doing drugs might be to get away from other problems. Some do it to handle the stress of touring. And then there's the ones that actually, of course, do it because it's a way of having a good time or to pass time. And some people, handle this day in and day out abuse on tours better than others. And seeing when you're a musician and you're out on the road and do the same thing day in and day out, the drugs probably become, a pretty big thing and a big part of your life. Now, imagine trying to get rid of something that you've been doing your whole life. Even though James allegedly been sober for over 15 years, there's still something he's struggling with. You know, I don't know the backstory. I don't know James at all. And maybe I don't understand it because, you know, I never had an addiction. But I think in a situation like this, it's very important that people outside of this can show full support of someone that's basically trying to take control of their life and try to do something about their addiction. You get exposed to a lot of things like this when you're out on tour. So I guess it's really easy to fall into when you basically have nothing to do in between shows. And, you know, I'm some sort of lucky because I didn't get to be a touring musician before I got older. You know, I have kids and I don't want to get shit-faced in the same way that I did back in the day when I was, you know, 25. Fine, I occasionally drink on tour, but when I do it moderately because, you know, I still have a job to do and I don't want to drink my ass off when I know that I have to work the day after. But not everyone is as lucky as me. I mean, people have their reasons, demons that eventually lead them to an addiction. And for James' part, he's on his own way. And I think it's really strong to, even though after being sober for so long, to get back and work on himself. That's something I truly admire. I mean, he's taking control of his situation and all we can do is just show our love and support on the way. And yeah, what was the question again? Did I derail? I think I did derail. What did I want to say with this? Not sure, to be honest. I mean, I'm not sure I made any sense in that one. All right, great. Magnus, Mornola, you saw the announcement that you're coming back to Larvik Guitarfest next year. Will we finally see Solar hosting its own stand in the Guitar Hall? Hilser from Norge. Yes, I am coming to Larvik next year. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm there to do a workshop or clinic or show or whatever, so I'm not there with my guitars. But maybe I can just put up my guitar case somewhere and people can come and play the guitars. You know what? That's actually a pretty good idea. I just bring my case and just, you know, stand somewhere and just open up the case and people can try them out. I'm probably going to do that. That's a pretty good idea, Ola. Jason Line, what's up, Ola? What do you think about the new Opeth album? Love the videos. You are awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so in before this, I finally got the chance to listen to the Opeth album. And, you know, listening to it, it's more of the same, basically, of what they've been doing for the past years, you know, with Heritage and that other album I don't remember the name of. I think I kind of already moved on with hoping that Opeth will be Opeth again, or like Opeth being like they were back in the past, even though this is not up my alley, the style of new Opeth. With that said, I must say, I actually enjoy the album a lot. I absolutely love the lead work and the songs, and sometimes it gets a little bit too proggish, but overall, I really enjoy the album. And as a Swede, it's actually kind of cool that he also made an album version where he sings it all in Swedish, even like taking the time to record everything again in his native language. That's pretty admirable, I must say. So I really like that part, and also hearing all those movie samples that are in Swedish on the album is kind of creepy, I must say. As a Swede, I think it feels a little out of place, but still, I still think the album is cool, man. Brendan Atkinson, hey Ola, what's your opinion on Vogue, Decapitated, joining Machine Head for their upcoming tour, and would you think he would be a great fit to join the band permanently? Thanks. Well, I know that Vogue is more than capable of doing the guitars for Machine Head. That's no question about it. Vogue is an amazing guitar player, and he's definitely one of the right guys for doing this. So I absolutely wish him the best of luck in that venture. I think everyone in here agrees with me when I'm saying that I just hope it doesn't get in the way of Decapitated, because I think Decapitated is an excellent band. And I don't think it will. I think I saw a post from Vogue and he said that they're doing an album for next year, which is awesome. I'm looking forward to that. James Jin, can't believe you don't look forward to Doom Eternal. Dislike straight away. Okay. Someone asked me in the latest FAQ if there were any games I was looking forward to, and seems like I forgot to mention Doom Eternal, and automatically that means that I'm not looking forward to Doom Eternal because I left it out. So there you go. This is a great example of people twisting and turning my words into something that's fake news, basically. I think it's actually kind of extraordinary that people can make shit up. You know, make their own news, basically. So there you go. Let's just end this FAQ with a little lesson here. You know, there's always two sides of every coin. you know, the world is supposed to be black and white. That's just the way it should be. And now someone is going to take what I said about that and make that a hateful speech. That's what I see is going to happen when I upload this FAQ. Ola, you racist. There's always going to be black and white. Oh, Ola's always going to be racist. I can see it in front of me, headlines, YouTube comment headlines, not real headlines, because in the real world people don't care, but in YouTube people care. Ola the racist hates white and black people. Great. But with that said, let's just end it on a positive note. Guys, thank you so much. Next week I'm going to China. I'm going to Shanghai for a couple of clinics. That's why I've been practicing my own album for a little bit, so I can perform the songs. I'm really looking forward to it, actually. And now I also have Link's Awakening on my Game Boy. on my Switch. So I'm really looking forward to a long flight where I can play some video games. I'm really looking forward to that, actually. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you liked my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. Put a thumbs up. If you put a thumbs up, it helps my video get suggested to other people, which eventually will make my channel grow, and that will be an incredible support for me. So thank you so much for doing that. And guys, have a really good Sunday, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Bye.